Good morning and welcome to today's webinar on preparing for Brexit in priority. Today we'll be looking at what will change after December the 31st, what priority is already set up to make your transition as smooth as possible, and what you as a business need to do to ensure you're ready to start trading the right way on January the 1st, 2021. Today we're going to cover EORE numbers, custom declarations, VAT both in and out, commodity codes, weights and volumes, and other important information and FAQs too. Questions can be asked in the Q&A box pictured on screen on the left-hand side. I'll review these at the end of the presentation and answer the most relevant ones live. So we'll prioritize the most relevant, but some may be answered after the meeting and emailed out. So EORE number version 19.1 and above. From January the 1st, 2021, you'll need an EORE number to move goods between Great Britain, England, Scotland, and Wales, and the EU. You may already have one if you are currently trading, if you're currently moving goods between the UK and non-EU countries. You may also need one if you move goods to or from Northern Ireland. If you do not have an EORE number, you may have increased costs and delays. For example, if HM Revenue and Customs cannot clear your goods, you may have to pay storage fees. An EORE number should be 12 numerical digits that follow GB, and in order to get one, you can apply at www.gov.uk/EORI and follow the link to apply. Priority have added a EORE number box to the company data form, and let's just show you that in real time. So if you go to system management, companies, company data, you can see the EORE number here just underneath the VAT number. This is available as standard in version 20.1, released in October 2020, and is available as a patch for version 19.1 and above. Please contact support to arrange for your patch to be installed if required. Once you've got your EORE number and you've entered it into your company data, it should appear on all the relevant documentation in priority. So let's take a look. If we go into the financials menu and we go into the sales invoices, and we pick number T52. We've got one here, so what we can do, we've got this invoice here, ready to be finalised, but first we can print the sales invoice, display it under any format, and what we get is underneath the VAT number, we get the EORE number just here. And this is the case on all the documentation it's required for. However, as well as invoices, the EORE number also appears on all documents with the standard header, including customer shipment documents, sales order confirmation, purchase order confirmation, and GRVs. If you're on a priority version before 19.1, then it is unlikely we can get a full upgrade completed before the end of 2020. There are a couple of options available. You can either add a hard-coded EORE number into your Word template as pictured above. So just below the telephone number here, I've added in the EORE number. The upside of this is you can add the EORE number to any Word template within the system that you feel is relevant to your business. The other option is to contact our support team who can arrange to have Meditech add the field on your system manually and add it to the header so that it matches version 19.1 plus. So those are a couple of options to add the EORE number to your priority system. Now we come to VAT for exporting goods. Let's look at what the government say. So from the 1st of January 2021, you can charge customers VAT at 0%, known as zero rate, on most goods you export to the EU. These are subject to time restrictions. However, in most instances, the time restrictions will be irrelevant, as these start from 3 months and go up as high as 6 months. The good news is that nothing really changes on exports. You can leave your customers and VAT codes as is. This allows for a smoother changeover as possible, and your VAT report boxes can remain the same. So let's move on to the import side of post-Brexit VAT. If your business is registered for VAT in the UK, you'll be able to account for import VAT on your VAT return instead of paying when the goods arrive at the UK border upfront and recovering it later. This is called postponed VAT accounting, or PVA. The PVA means the payment of import tax and recovery take place on the same return rather than having a different deferment of recovery to the next return. This works using a similar mechanism to the current reverse charge system, and much of the setup remains unaffected. However, it is required that you must replace your EU vendor number 5 with a number 6 as pictured above in the financial parameters for vendors. So let me just jump into priority just to make it a bit more obvious than it is on the slide. If we go into our vendors form and we find our EU vendor, and then we just go through to the financial parameters for vendor. You can see here I've already made the change from 5 to 6. So from EU vendor to worldwide vendor. It's worth going through and doing all of your vendors at the same time on the 1st of January 2021. And if you have any purchase orders that are raised before the 1st of January 2021 but are completed afterwards, you will need to make that change within the purchase order itself manually. Other than this, Priority are currently working on and will be releasing an update file to ensure your system is ready to handle PVA and ensure that your transactions are put into the correct boxes on your VAT return. The import VAT transactions should now be in boxes 1, 4, and 7 rather than 2, 4, and 7 as they are currently, and Priority's update will do this for you. At this time, we do not believe you will have to make any further changes to your system. However, this is subject to change. Please note that normal rules about what VAT can be reclaimed as input tax will apply. Commodity codes are a requirement for dealing with customs duty, and Priority has built-in functionality to deal with this. To access this, go to Financials, Cost Analysis for Manufacturers, Shipping Expense Burdening, Data for Shipping Import Voucher, and then itemized custom rates. You can also access this form by going to the financial parameters for part and going through there as there's a field for it. We'll look at that in a moment. So if we bring all the data back, what we've got here, as you can see, you can set up itemized custom rates, and you can break these down into product types, and then you have different options. So you can have custom rates for the rest of the world, custom rates for the EU, custom rates for NAFTA, and once those are set up, you can use the sub-level to utilize any nations with trade deals with the UK. That way, whenever a commodity is shipped abroad, it will automatically calculate the customs for you. So let's go to that now. What we can do, just to show you how it works, is we can change the custom rate for the EU to 17%. And we can also have a special customs rate for Russia of 3%. That comes up as Russian Federation in priority. That's 3%. And that's now done. And that's now saved. So now when we go to the financial parameters for part, which we've got on the screen here, is inventory parts, part parameters, financial parameters for part. Inventory parts, part parameters, financial parameters for part. And we bring back 001, which is new part 1. You can see here we've got the customs item set up already, but you could change that to the other one. But for now, we'll leave it as it is, but that's where you would go to set that up. Please visit www.trade-tariff.service.gov.uk/sections for more info on different commodity codes. Customs declarations, labels, and certificates. If you're a UK-based business bringing or receiving goods from the EU, you must complete an import declaration to get your goods through customs. There's nothing official in priority to support customs declarations. However, you could set up a warning message on EU shipments, so shipments to EU customers, using business rules to flash up a reminder to ensure customs declarations are in place before shipping. Again, if you're using labels within priority, you should check the latest information on the government website and ensure you have updated/added the necessary labels to your system before January the 1st. There are many different changes to the label process depending on what your business produces, so we won't go through all the different options and changes here, but it's worth being aware. The same goes for export licenses, certificates, and postage marking. If you need any support on a business-by-business basis, please contact support in the first instance. A new requirement of Brexit is to ensure that weights and lengths and volumes are visible on the shipping document. In order to get this done, we've provided a step-by-step instruction guide that will be distributed after the webinar, and I will now go through how to set that up in priority. So to get weights onto printouts, first you need to define the weights and dimensions against parts by going to where we were before, which is inventory parts, part parameters, financial parameters for parts. So let's go there now. So we're already here, so we can see down the bottom that we've got the weights and lengths here. So let's put everything as 5s and let's make sure that saves. As you can see for part 001, I've already set this up, but we've made some small changes. We're going to use this part for the demonstration so we can fill these fields in with the appropriate dimensions. It's worth doing all of these at the same time. So set up all of these parts at once, as you probably have more than one relevant part. Next, we need to make sure we define a primary part weight for use in the system by going to inventory, inventory maintenance, auxiliary programs, flag primary weight unit. So what this does is it makes sure that all the weights throughout the system have one centralized definition weight that they can use so that the system can easily compare and contrast and add up. So for mine, I've already set it up with kilograms. And one thing that you do need to do beforehand is make sure that all your conversion rates are correct within the system. Let me just jump back into this. So to get to the one we were just looking at, inventory, inventory maintenance, auxiliary programs, flag primary weight unit. And then for the conversion, for the unit conversions, you need to go to inventory, inventory maintenance, unit conversions. Which is up near the top. And I've already got all mine set up, so I'm just going to leave those as is. Now that this is all set up, you can create a packing slip within Priority. So we're going to do that now. And for that, we're going to inventory, inventory transactions, sales inventory transactions, packing slip. And we're going to create a new one for our EU customer. And that's for today. I'm going to jump down to the bottom. And we've got our new part with a quantity of 2. And when we get up to the top, we can see that that's popped in the weight that it should be and the volume. But if, let's say, it weighs a bit less when you weigh it, you can change that, and that will give you a difference as well. Now, what we can do is we can print the packing slip, display it, and this is our document that shows us our weights and our volumes. You may want to avoid packing slips, in which case, please contact support in order to inquire about having the data added to the shipping document. And here's just another example of a separate packing slip with the volume and the weight on it. So I'm going to go through some other important information regarding Brexit now. That isn't covered elsewhere in this presentation. So first, an EORE number is required for each company that is registered as a separate legal entity. Whilst no VAT is due on services rendered within the EU, it is important to note that if any goods are required, i.e. to repair or replace, you will need an EORE number and a customs declaration in order to move the goods into the EU. UK businesses will no longer be treated as if they were local businesses. Services provided by UK businesses and professionals will be regarded as originating from a third country. As a services vendor, you may find stricter legal, regulatory, and administrative barriers to your operations within the EU after January the 1st. Please refer to the HMRC website for more info. Please check the government website for the latest updates regarding the evolving situation in Northern Ireland. And please ensure that your receiving customers in the EU are also ready for Brexit and have done what they need to do. If they're not prepared, you could face delays and increased costs, even if your own business is totally prepared. So in summary, the EORE number is a requirement for many documents and is built into version 20.1 and patched from version 19.1. VAT on exports remain unchanged, but VAT on imports have some small tweaks, and we await an updated binary file from Priority. Commodity codes can be implemented to add customs charges and remove those where the UK has a trading deal agreed. There are many new requirements regarding certification, labels, export licenses, and postage marking. It is down to you to understand your business requirements. However, you may contact support if you require training or help changing or creating these. Weights and volumes can be added to documentation by utilising packing slips within the shipping process. Thank you for listening today. This concludes today's Brexit presentation. I'll now jump into real time and have a look at the questions you've asked and answer the most relevant live. We will also be sending out a document containing information on the priority action points covered in this presentation. Thank you for joining us today, and again, thank you for listening.